going to show him how it's done here. As Pollo already has 4 eliminations here. So it does seem like they're in the zone, Taco.
There can only be one. And I'm right there with you, Monster. I think that it's going to be Peterbot. It's the Peterbot show regardless, but Agent Peterbot looking to make their debut here in one of our next lobbies of today. And if there's one thing that Peterbot and Pollo love to do, it's box fight, but Peterbot takes a massive tag from his alter ego. Still comes out on top for it. Banana gonna get dropped there from Pollo as well. Just waiting for Peterbot to create a little bit of space. Does get an opportunity to pick it up and expends it. And now, exclusively Sports trying to do what he can to keep this box fight engagement a little bit going still, but jumps through the window. Mantle maybe catching Pollo a little bit off guard here, but it doesn't make a difference. In the end, it's going to be Peterbot and Pollo who cleanly wipe out Sporks and Mini Peterbot, and now Ranks, by the way, just been hiding this entire time, just praying that nobody realizes he's still sitting around.
I'll be honest, I think Ranks is making the right move here. I don't think he should move at all, actually. We have a lot going on here, though, of course, as we're just jumping in. Tons of action. In fact, let's jump back in with Pollo and how he got that 4th elimination. This is Ranks' duo here. You can see Pollo, tip-top shape and form here. In our perspective, we might think Ranks is low-key. However, Pollo's probably going to go check to see if he can find the rest of that duo. He's not going to forget that one there. Now jumping in with Costa and Zypha here, who are on the move north side of the zone here. Just eyeing up, hawking the perimeter, making sure things are good, but they see some builds out. Use the dashes here because they're going to get replenished anyways. Then right on in this keying of a team right now. And I think this is going to be the trend, right? We're seeing all of these games very much fast-paced right now here for the qualifiers. You have to maintain a certain number of eliminations if you want to be up at the top.
Well, especially when you're dealing with a lobby that has Peterbot and Pollo in it. They've been breaking records and establishing themselves in NA as of late as the elimination warlords of every single lobby that they're in. And so you've got to be quick with it. Otherwise, you're just not going to have an opportunity to look for Surge because Peterbot and Pollo, they don't waste any time. They are aggressive for a reason. It's the same thing that Thrill and Swax are trying to do. Banana Bandit on the other end. Tomato Tickler as well. A little bit of a theme with that duo.
Getting right back into it. Peterbot and Pollo, though, we're already on to the next duo here. You can see they got a little bit of a split angle here. Pollo focused up on the player on high ground. Peterbot chasing a one down low. And really only teams that are super confident can play like this. Splitting up, trusting in one another, go ahead and handle business. And just like that, isolate him out. One mistake and it's over. You're sent right back. And it's kind of crazy. You watch Peterbot and Pollo run through players just that quick. And they'll do it to a player of any caliber. They take advantage. They play confidently.
And it's crazy, too, when you consider Peterbot typically taking over IGL responsibilities between the two of them. Pollo, though, just such a strong fragger in his own right. It comes as no surprise, really, to see how frequently they tend to split apart whenever they're looking for those hyper-aggressive initiations. And for good reason. Again, that team just has so much trust in each other. Or if anything, they know that the other will back them up if things do tend to go a little bit south. But they're already making quick work of the teams that have unfortunately come their way as is. And that's going to leave players like Xerxes and Xe or Exo just on the outskirts of some of these POIs, hoping that they can get some surge damage online before things go a little bit too late. Because again, the longer it takes to get that surge online, the worse off you're going to be as far as those rotations are concerned.
I definitely agree. Can't spend too much time here. NCMZ's got an opponent. Duo all the way across. Duo to the other side. Oh yeah, look at this. Look at these bases. Folks are set up all around them right now. Much different dynamic right here at the center of the map, if you will. Seems like on the outskirts, everyone's king, everyone's pushing. You get center, you get east, and basically everywhere that's not the underworld, you know, dash locations, if that water's not accessible, everyone's pretty chill. And things change, get to this side of the map.
Chimp and Scissor. They're going to be just outside, in between Restored Reels and Pleasant Piazza. Chimp, though, seemingly spotted out what could be a moment for Chip and Scissor, but no, instead, default to rotating. And Peterbot and Pollo, they found their next, what's looking like to be a victim here, is Velok doing what he can to try and create some space, but if there's one thing about Peterbot and Pollo that they hate doing, it's leaving eliminations. And that's why Velo, he's just gonna get completely ran down. Underworld dash, plus the Fizzberry. It just covers so much ground here for Pollo. Immediately tackles the other side of this box here. Velo gets a decent tag back onto Pollo, but his health is just so extraordinarily low. Trying to get that small shield potion online, but Pollo's not gonna give him a chance to fully heal. Just, again, continuing to harass Velok with so much pressure, and now it's gonna be Peterbot on the backside, but Peterbot's not even needed. Pollo, it's already gotten the job done. And that knock almost makes me wonder, MDF, where was Velo's duo throughout this entire exchange?
I have no idea. I thought they were chasing a solo. Meanwhile, it's a whole team. Peterbot blind checks the bush, turns, there's a team in there. Misses every tag. And just like that, the heat's on him. But again, they're already on the Flowberry Fizz effects, right? So you can see how quickly they can maneuver, reposition. Just make it that much more difficult to track down. But Boyo was here. Boyo finds his tags, and look at this. Conversation is always surrounding Peterbot, but Boyo, such a complementary duo here. Highly skilled, very, very talented, and you can just see confident regardless of what. Down to 57 HP though. Now it's Peterbot's turn to go ahead and turn things around here. Put a little pressure on, and the pre-fire there onto Costa was great. For the 1-2 now into Zypha.
But again, Peterbot and Pollo, they are not letting up. Peterbot especially. Zypha and Costa also having expended a decent amount of heals just to hold on. Peterbot's just trying to make it end quickly, but Zypha gets a little bit exposed. Wall at it, opening up in a way that he did not anticipate. Now Peterbot on the wraparound, going for the flank maneuver here while Pollo continues to aggress on the front side. But Pollo, one more time, shields have been cracked, white HP exposed. Zypha, Costa, still the same line of sight though. They might not realize the fact that Peterbot's looking for that flank engagement still. And just continuing to apply so much pressure here as Costa continuing to build out. But now it's Peterbot on the back foot. It's gonna take a second here.
This is what they're doing so well. Boyo's not even pushing in. He's just keeping pressure up, keeping them distracted. They do this for one another to see if the opponent lets their guard down, overwhelm them, essentially overwhelm the senses, right? Walls being tagged, pressure coming in from all angles. It's Peterbot who's really trying to get close and personal on the walls, but it's Boyo who's putting that constant pressure on. And look, cutting them off, looking for angles just like that. All of these small advantages, and look at how he slowly backpedals as well while he's putting these tags in. You have to respect it. They play this so well.
Oh, but Peterbot, not only that, but they're running solo on build. Pollo and Peterbot, they didn't have a choice. They had to continue keying Costa and Zypha. Finally, Pollo gets some reward here with that elimination, and Peterbot as well. But again, as you just pointed out, Vert still is on the other side. They could potentially look to lock Pollo and Peterbot inside of the storm.
This storm is doing a lot of damage. Silicon Verk here, you cannot miss those tags. It's gonna be the last few times you get to get freebies on him, because you know exactly what duo that is right there. And just like that, Boyo and Peterbot get themselves into the safety's edge here, but for how much longer can they keep up this pacing? That was a very, very drawn out battle, and you can see it's wearing on the loadout here now.
But Pollo, Peterbot, they don't have to entertain Vert and Silic. They literally just dash right by them. Now looking to aggress a team. But no, instead, gonna opt for a quick rotate. Trying to save some materials.
He's going right into it. That's what the dash can do. Peterbot takes full advantage, and I saw it coming. The opponent unfortunately did not, and then makes the fatal mistake. You just invited him down by breaking the builds right there. And they're back, fully back now.
God tier refresh.
With the loadout to show for it.
Everything that they needed, and then some. And now, Sealy Convert, they're gonna have to try and deal with a very healthy Peterbot and Pollo. Can expect that engagement to be rather problematic. But checking back in with Banana Bandit and Tomato Tickler, just kind of lurking around the low ground for the time being, in a decent position. Zone's gonna pull him just a little bit further east of where they're currently situated here at Pleasant Piazza. This could be a nice opportunity though for Banana Bandit and Tomato Tickler to get some surge online.
Definitely have to do something. This lobby's gonna need a little bit of life, because otherwise there won't be much left in it. But Chimp and Scissors here are definitely doing just that. Down bodies around them, and they're already at 8 eliminations. Pressure coming in from a multitude of angles, but they're more focused on freeing themselves up here. Have to leave the refresh behind. This could turn to backfire them. Now they do have heavy material. There it is, the swap out. On the other side, Peterbot and Foyer get closer and closer to 20 eliminations. This is quite the game already. We expected something big, of course, but to watch it unfold firsthand in real time is definitely something different.
Okay, but Chimp and Scissor, with 10 eliminations themselves, they're definitely keeping a decent pace there. If we're looking at elimination counts between Chimp, Scissor, Peterbot, Pollo, now Chimp gonna look to try and wrap around edge of zone, but it's got to be careful. A lot of teams already stacked up inside the center area, but Chimp and Scissor, they're able to claim some of their own space, and we're right back to the Peterbot Pollo show, and it doesn't look like they have any intentions of slowing down, just constantly forcing their way into all these other teams' boxes, breaking down walls, breaking down edits. But Pollo, a little bit lower than he'd like to be. Peterbot actually gonna get knocked. It could be disastrous now for Peterbot and Pollo.
I think he's done enough. I think he's done just enough to go ahead and not only clutch up and save his teammate, but you see how the dash medallion is so versatile. Pollo was almost taken out, dashes back, puts himself in a position, and you know, your opponents are just so frazzled. Like they have no idea where you are. How do you track in real time like that? And that's what Pollo and Peterbot do so well, tracking amongst the chaos. They just have full control over the situation. Meanwhile, Chimp and Scissor, just completely different type of keying going on here, right? Precise, and I feel like more tempered, right, as they're choosing the duos, as opposed to, you know, fighting everything that moves around them.
They have so much damage, though. Almost 20, 300, and then some above the threshold. Vert gonna pick off Ferdice. And Peterbot managed to get himself back to full 200. So one more time, just gonna continue running it down with Pollo. 16 eliminations in tow. Low ground menaces at this point, but wouldn't be surprised to see them look to try and tackle high ground. Gonna trade that aspect of agility for a moment just so they can both get their dashes online, and just like that, see Pollo and Peterbot immediately up top. Viper stood no chance.
Before you can even react at all, wall down, they already have high ground, and you're done. You're taken out. You see them use the Flowberry Fizz strictly offensively. Meanwhile, Chimp with the 180 onto Lime sent them right back to the lobby. I know he's second guessing pushing this demon right here, who is definitely in the zone right now, but sometimes your run does have to come short. The Slappy finds him. Scissors taken out not much long afterwards, and now it's Peterbot and Pollo's show to go ahead and run from the high ground here. 18 eliminations. This should be looking like at least a 20-piece for the duo here. They continue to pressure on.
Knowing Peterbot, he's not going to be satisfied with anything less than 20 at this point, Monster. And You can see Pollo, Peterbot just continuing to tarp through the high ground. Even if they get chopped out, they don't have to worry. They've got dashes to expend. Pollo gonna apply some pressure into Curfew's box. Won't manage to throw up a wall in time. But again, with Pollo just bearing down on your builds above, massive shots gonna connect. And finally, Curfew basically delaying the inevitable at this point. He does get knocked cleanly eliminated as well by Pollo. So much disruption, and just like that, Pollo already back up to high ground. No issues reconvening with Peterbot, who's just laying down ample suppressive fire. He's got that Thunderburst SMG up high, and doesn't look like anybody can threaten their position currently.
They swap the medallion so effortlessly as well. The strategy is there. You can see how much better the team is getting as a duo. Meanwhile, on the low ground, Burt and company break their 10th elimination here, but it should be all fun and games here. In the end, it's Peterbot and Pollo who are running with it. 24 eliminations and a single... Is that Day? Day still alive there. Just holding on there in the zone. Is he going to be able to out-heal this is the question right now, and doesn't look like it. The gas tank is out. Pollo waits for him here. It's only going to take a tag.
As soon as they start lighting up that elimination feed, you have to expect that it's just going to be a reoccurring theme, essentially, as Pollo, Peterbot, they've locked on to a possible engagement here. Josh and Kong trying to throw up some walls, create a little bit of distance. But space is not something that Pollo and Peterbot like to give to anyone, much less a team that they've locked eyes on. And Josh and Kong, they got to be careful because there could be company on their backside as well. Find themselves potentially getting pressured from two different teams, and that is the worst case scenario for anyone.
Take a look at Peterbot here. Just putting on the expert course on how to key. You can see they do it well. They don't just mindlessly jump into dangerous situations. They time it. They try to do it perfectly there, but Pollo gets punished, but Peterbot is here. No damage taken in that exchange, which is probably more of a surprise than anything else. Now has to fend off a whole team here by himself, and we already talked about this. Peterbot and Pollo basically play as two players who are trying to constantly 1v2. They just so happen to be on the same team, basically.
That was such a nasty shot, though, from Peterbot onto Anox. Essentially forces Zerx and Anox to stop in their tracks. They were interested in that key initially. They saw that Peterbot was looking for that revive onto Pollo, but again, the dashes just so problematic. Kong and Josh just didn't even know which direction to initially look. They get that knock onto Pollo, and it just doesn't even make a difference with the way that Peterbot just so flawlessly jumps into their box, and there's a reason he's considered one of the best mechanical fraggers on NA right now, and if that doesn't put it in 4K for you, I don't know what will.
Yeah, it's not just that he's good. I think it's specifically the fact that they have this advantage with the dash medallion, basically, right? Like I genuinely believe that alone just gives them so many options. And it's just too much. You just can't track them. I don't care how good you are. Once you're put in that situation, there's going to be a little bit of luck involved. If you and your team just so happen to make and target the right player at the right time. Because if you don't, you got Peterbot in the corner like that. You don't even know he's in the box with you. And before you know it, you're taken out.
Look at the bounce back, though, from Kanata and Cooper.
Oh,
4 eliminations. The reboot definitely successful. Although, Kanata, Cooper, they're trying to claim some space here on the outskirts of Reckless Railways. Doing a decent job to kind of supervise where exactly they need to tarp next. Got decent control, but at the same time, Kanata eats a little bit more damage than he probably would have liked. A lot of his materials being forcibly expended here as well. It seems as if the entire lobby is just focusing these two out right now.
I will say, just looking and judging by the player list of names I've seen so far, there is a significant increase of more notable names in this lobby. And the fact that still we're jumping in with so many duos that have, a good amount of Elims, for all things considering, is still, all in all very impressive. We might just see Peterbot and Pollo up against Cooper and Kanata right here. Yeah, they're trying to eliminate the distraction of the tree here. So options. They're looking around here. Is there threats nearby? Little do they know that team is under storm surge right there. You saw the bolts come down.
You can tell Peterbot was looking for that headshot snipe, though. Won't find it just yet. But again, the aspect of agility just so problematic. And the moment we tap back in, it's going to be walkers again, causing problems here for Cooper and Kanata.
Unfortunate.
This time he's trying to say stay down, but no, walkers also getting punished in the process. Fat's going to get knocked as well. Meanwhile, Peterbot Pollo, they finally come to break up all this action taking place between Walker's Fatch, Cooper and Kanata. Pollo and Peterbot, they want the leftovers, and they might just get it at this rate. Pollo continuing to aggress into any box that he's got in front of him.
Pollo's awareness is kind of crazy right there. He was fully focused on taking down walkers, and I think we've all been in those situations. You play with a duo and you're like, bro, I need your help, and they're like tunnel zoned, right? It's like they don't even hear you. But no, like Pollo stops everything he was doing on the dime, gets right back to Peterbot and supports him. I don't know what else to say. It's little things.
I mean, 10 eliminations in this lobby as is. You've got to keep in mind, in their earlier game that we spectated, Peterbot already had more Elims in that one match than all but one other team currently has combined. Impressive records and just an impressive performance. As Fatch finds himself as the victim there to Peterbot.
Yeah, I guarantee you anyone on my friends list would have left me there and not. I'm just saying.
I honestly, I think anybody would leave you behind if Peterbot is there.
Probably.
To be fair.
Yeah, I would have been. Take a look at the front side of zone right now. Golden Cows here. Ozone puts a monster shot down, but it's not enough to back him off. They're still there, still nearby. Danger lingering. 12 eliminations now for Peterbot and Pollo. Jumped away, we come back, and they're sitting on a fresh set of eliminations. Wings of Icarus there. I do wonder if Peterbot wants, but no. He just plays so well with the fizz and the dash, and look, right on up into the territory of the opponents. No time wasted. Peterbot fails to jump, but Pollo's there. Pressure's already on. Other teams looking in now as well. Just look at the mechanics of Pollo as well. Even under the pressure of the server, we all know what it's like. It gets really difficult to do anything. They just make it look like they're playing on some monstrous rigs or something like that. Like if they're in a server of their own, it's crazy what they're able to accomplish here. They just don't stop the pressure.
It's just the fact that even with Peterbot and Pollo both eating tags, they don't stop. There's zero hesitation. The moment they go for height, they just fully commit to it. Zircon trying to do what he can to keep his duo's hopes alive here in this lobby. Finally gets a moment to try and pop that shield potion, but Peterbot again, 15, 16 eliminations. Now as Pollo picks up another one. It's looking like they want to break their own record of the day.
Yeah, just before that, it was obviously Pollo on the run. This time it's Peterbot who's definitely carrying the eliminations right now, but it's a joint effort. They're so good at individually keeping up the pressure, not letting it slow down for just a moment. Even the edits right there, great angle there from Pollo. But positioning is going to be more important. Winning this game is still crucial here. So here, Peterbot jumps down. There's a couple tags there. Fizz as well. He's not worried about that. He wants the players. He wants to finish the job here. Cuts them off. Comnic is on the run. Another tag there.
Oh,
where are you going for, tag? High ground is not free, buddy.
also, peep the fact, believe Peterbot's also got that aspect of siphon from the underworld. So Pollo, Peterbot in control of what appears to be two different medallions.
Swap.
Still, full control of the high ground as well. Doing a lot to ensure that nobody can try and pressure them from secondary height. Peterbot still continuing to drop down into these mid and low ground layers. He's not even looking for the refreshes of materials. He just wants the eliminations, and he's finding them one after the other. 13 eliminations already for Peterbot. So he tries to close in on Convic, and sure enough, one more going to be added to the count here. 20 elims altogether for Peterbot.